Hey, y'all. Trash Talk, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Glad to have you with us. And hey, hope everybody had a great Christmas. Did you, Brandon, have a great Christmas?
Yeah. I mean, the holiday season is upon us. So
It,
we are still in it. And it was good, busy, but relaxing,
yeah.
busy leading up, I should say.
Did you get everything you wanted for Christmas?
Well, I always get gifts, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think when you get to I'll say our age, but maybe it cycles back as I get older. People will buy me crap. I don't really need any. I'm not. I mean, who doesn't like gifts, right? But I don't really care.
You, you don't have as big
I
of a wish list.
Oh, I do. It's just nobody's going to be able to afford that wish list.
Oh,
So, but
oh.
no, my son, gets me something, and then that's cool. But honestly, it's just kind of about him and hanging out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I buy myself a little something something every year. I don't wrap it or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you know what I'm going to buy this year? I'm going to buy this, and this year because I'm rebuilding my physical media collection. I bought a couple 4K Blu-rays that I really wanted, so that
Uh,
was for me. But
yeah. So has she left yet?
Ooh.
The gift you bought yourself?
No. I'm not paying for that. I think I paid enough for that
Right.
over the years. So.
You've paid plenty for that already.
Right. I feel like these days,
Eh,
there's enough mistletoe to go around.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
Right. Like, there's a lot of freebies out there. It's like Christmas, as you get closer to Christmas, you just find the really sad girls.
Yeah.
They don't require very much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the last one sitting at the end of the bar.
Right, her boyfriend dumped her last year. She hasn't rebounded yet. You
Right.
just guys, you go watch It's a Wonderful Life and hope that everybody's home alone. That's it.
Um, well, and also, when you got kids, you become very, very
Yeah,
secondary because
I
it's
don't
all
care.
it's all
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah, I'm cool. I love watching him open stuff and kind of, figure, put it together and hey,
Right.
dad, let's do that. Because, kids, they want to do everything now. Like it's all open now. So let's play with every single thing now, even though this might take me 20 minutes to put together. So,
Reminds me of one of my best friends when I was growing up. We were very much into the Revell kits, building cars and
sure.
airplanes and boats and stuff like that. And he would open up that kit and he'd take out that tube of glue and he would take the right fuselage and the left fuselage and glue it together. And he'd put the wings on the plane and all, and he'd get all finished and realize that there was like 20 pieces that were left that he forgot to put the pilot in the cockpit.
Yes. I did that with a truck. I was putting together a truck and I forgot to put the seats in the truck.
Yeah, you're so anxious
Hey,
to get it
Luke's over
finished.
here holding the seats like, Dad, what the heck, bro?
And I was one of those kids that sat there and I painted every
Yeah,
little piece first before I put the thing together. Started with step number one and two and three, and
sure.
it would take me, 3 weeks to do something that my best buddy would have finished in about 30 minutes.
Right, but you had all the pieces and the colors, and it looked like
Yeah,
the packaging.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to put the wheels on that thing.
Yeah, it's good, man. I hope you had a good holiday. I hope you guys had a great one. And
It
we're
was
still
good.
in the holiday season.
And like you said, it's low key, it's festive for everybody, whether you're celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or
Absolutely.
Kwanzaa,
Yes.
all any of the religious holidays and everything. We're just thrilled that we've run into so many people that have thanked us for our show and what we do, and just sharing the good tidings of the season. I think that's what makes it all worthwhile.
It is. And now here we are, vastly approaching the end of 2022,
Yeah.
climbing into 2023. I mean, it's been interesting. You know, I feel like personally since 2019, really, le- I just feel like things have been wild.
It has been. And I mean, certainly when I started writing down a little list of highlights and lowlights from the year. And there's one that made both categories, and that was politics. I mean,
Great.
with the midterm elections and everything, I mean, it was like who wrote it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Uh, it really was. I mean, the whole process sucked and all, but hopefully we can get the government moving forward now, because this whole year has all been about campaigning, and so everybody put progress on hold.
Look, it's not, I hate to break it to you, Stuart. You're not going to get the government moving. Okay.
Right.
Because guess what 2023 is going to be about?
Well, that's true.
So we're going to sit here and hear the same old rhetoric from every party over and over and over and over. You got to just do what I do, man. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Like,
I don't even care. I mean, I know people don't like to hear that when I say I don't care, because it's not what I mean. I
yeah,
do care very much so, but I'm not buying what anybody's selling me. Come up with a new store so I can shop at, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's like well, we don't need to dwell on the
No, we're not.
politics.
We're not. That's a low light.
I mean, there were so many other things that were really challenges this year. Some of them I think got a little bit whitewashed, and that was, we kept hearing about this supply chain. That the excuse that people had for not having product was the supply chain, and it
Right.
started, I think, as a real reason for not
I
having
agree with
product.
you.
Then it became like, hey, I can use that. If I don't have what the customer needs, I'll just say, hey, it's due to the supply chain. It's not my fault.
Well,
It's somebody else's fault.
well, I can cut back my cost, and what I can do is manipulate them to buy what I want them to buy by saying it's a supply chain issue and herd them into this direction. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Don't give me this supply to don't.
And if there's a shortage of something, but I have it, hey, I can bump the price up on what
and
I
that's
got.
what we're seeing, right?
Because, and then all I got to do is let people that have been looking for it know that I got it, and double my money, which, they anyway. But that was one thing, that the supply chain, of course, the one that we both have talked about quite a bit and everything is that the mass killings just this past year was, I love when America sets records. That
Oh
ain't
yeah.
that ain't a record that we need to set.
Oh, you guys want to set a record? Why don't you try advancing in the World Cup first, and let's not advance in a list of mass shootings. And by the way, let's not have our state listed in the top 5. Could we not do that, please?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do something to avoid being in the top 5. You're right.
Yeah.
You mentioned FIFA. I mean, that was definitely one of the highlights of the year. I never saw so much interest in soccer,
I love it.
and especially the young people, because let's face it, the youth of today is very, very much involved in soccer. Kids
Yes.
get into soccer when they're 4 or 5 years old, and if they stick with it, they do it through grade school, middle school, high school, and beyond. And so there's a big interest, and where you might see a stadium full of middle-aged and older people following football or something like that. Soccer, man, everybody got into it.
Well, the World Cup is one of the most amazing things, which is why soccer to me is probably the epitome of what sports should be. Um, because it literally is the only sport that across the world people come together. It's not just about country and teams. I mean, it is, especially in the World Cup,
Yeah.
but it's a pride thing. It's everything that has led you to this moment. And to see these fans from all these countries come together, and yeah, they're going to have this rivalry, but they're really also coming together and celebrating and partying and have. I love it. It felt weird to me. It feels weird to me as we're still into it. It feels weird to me that the World Cup is in winter. It's never been that way. It's always been a summer thing.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But and despite pretty much every team I wanted to advance is doing the opposite. It's exciting. So I've been excited. We've been watching the games, whether I've been at work or Luke and I have been watching them, or I've been watching them by myself. And watching these, it's been great. It's been awesome. That's been fun. Super happy to have it. We've had exciting college football. We've got a new, 4-team little tournament thing going on, creeping up here with which is exciting. We've had some pretty cool moments in the NFL as well. I mean, there's been some fun stuff happening.
Yeah, getting closer to those playoffs and getting closer to the Super Bowl, which also gets the juices flowing. The World Cup is what like the Olympics. It's every 4 years.
Yeah, well, the next time it'll be here, it'll be in Dallas, 2026. Don't worry, your man Brandon will be there at some point. So
absolutely, be there at some point. I mean, it'd probably be hard to break you away. You'll chain yourself to one of the flagpoles and say, this is my seat. I'm staying right here.
The only thing that'll break me away is my bank account, but I will be there. So yeah, it's nice because we know it's coming, and so this gets us excited for it, especially living in the DFW.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of wild that it's going to be in our own backyard after it's been in Qatar, a foreign country. It was 12 hours time difference or something.
Well, really in our own backyard, because they're doing training and stuff right at Toyota Stadium with the stone's throw away here.
Right.
So that's going to be great. It's going to be great. That's a highlight.
That definitely was a highlight. I mean, the Astros won the World Series. So, I mean, for Texas, at least you could say, I mean, I was happy for them that, what was this? They've been there in the World Series, like 5 times in the last 10 years. And
they just won though.
And it just got in there.
Well, I'll give him a shout out. Look, my boy Justin Verlander got it again. Now he's traded though. He's gone.
Just got traded to the Mets, I think.
Yeah. Yep. He's on his way to retire, but he's a Cy Young winner like 3 times.
Right. The
guy's a beast. I wish he never left Detroit, but I understand. I get it, man.
Yeah. But look, it's all about the contract.
And he gave everything to Detroit, honestly.
Yeah.
He gave it. He didn't say he wanted to leave. It wasn't like he had a choice.
Right.
But yeah, we had that happening in sports. There's been some good stuff, good movies coming out, good streaming that we had this year. Even though some of the cinema has, suffered, it's a new world with cinema, and some of the movies that have been released have been great. I mean, we had Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, a very emotional film, really dominated and is still dominating at the box office, but very emotional, well done piece. Whether you're a fan of Marvel or not, the way that they did this movie was unlike anything I've ever seen. So very unique.
Well, and you and I both just the David Bowie documentary movie or docudrama, whatever.
Rockumentary.
A rockumentary. I like that. That was absolutely awesome. I put movies. I also put in both the good news, bad news categories because it bothered me that there were so many movies that came out that were the killer thriller genre too. That there were lots of great animated movies came out in 2022, but some of the movies were pretty graphic.
What do you mean?
Well, what was the one that Brad Pitt was in?
Oh, Bullet Train.
Bullet Train. I
That
mean,
was
man, that
awesome.
was just nothing but shoot 'em up, blood splattering
Uh,
everywhere from
it was
start to
great. Yeah,
finish in that movie.
it
And
was good.
yeah, and I guess, I mean, there's some people that love that, but I'm afraid that sometimes it just sends the wrong message to too many people.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Look, no, we've talked about this, and
Yeah,
from a parent, yeah. I mean, do I want Luke to watch that? No. I mean, I very much poison my brain, but I'm hopeless anyway. So, but my son is not hopeless. So I
right.
definitely, do that definitive line, and I understand that. We had a couple things that were on the streaming. I know the big one was Dahmer. Everybody was kind of 50-50 on Dahmer. Now, I watched all 10 episodes of Dahmer. I will say that Evan Peters did a downright, it reminded me of when Sir Anthony Hopkins, did Hannibal Lecter. It was so good, it was
Yeah,
terrifying. So, yes, he did Dahmer so good. I take nothing away from it. When I say it was well done, it was well done. My problem with it was, number one, it didn't need to be 10 episodes. It dragged. Number two, I felt like there were moments that I don't want to say glorified Dahmer, but there was a couple moments, and I don't know if they meant to do this on purpose, where it almost tried to make you feel sorry, like, wow, if he would have got some help. And I didn't. Let me make it clear, I don't feel sorry. Okay.
yeah.
So it kind of bothered me. Like, there's a difference. We've had enough material on this guy. I don't think that we need to continue to do these films on these serial killers. I mean, if you're going to explain something, on a serial killer that maybe people don't know about, that's one thing. But we've had so many on it.
And that's part of the point, is that a lot of these movies that are being done about these bad people is exactly what these bad people were hoping for, was
Right.
that somebody would come along and write a book about them or do a movie about them, and then their platform will have been satisfied. But
I agree. Now, on the flip side, I'll say this final piece, because I could talk about pop culture all day. One of the greatest, two of the greatest things that we've had this year, and I could list a lot on streaming, is, number one, we got Stranger Things season 4, blew my mind away. Number two, Tim Burton's Wednesday on Netflix is by far one of the greatest streaming shows to come out of 2022. Jenna Ortega, besides my secret crush on you, you are amazing. She's an amazing actress. This felt like Tim Burton was back. Like, he was back doing and it was just so unique. It wasn't a remake of the Addams Family. It was a story focusing on Wednesday Addams as a teenager in the Addams Family world. And I really thought, this is the way you bring something new to the story without doing a reboot,
right.
a remake. Hats off. Can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about the Elvis movie that came out. It kind of showed a different side of the life of Elvis when he was off stage, and how he was manipulated when he was on stage, and it gave a little bit different perspective. That I give a lot of kudos to a lot of those movies throughout the year. And it was interesting, because the last few years, people were wondering, after COVID, would there be a return to the movie theaters, because everybody started following the streaming on television, and were they going to pay the admittance price to go into the movies again? And the movie theaters have been filling up again.
They're starting to do the things I wish they would do. They're showing movies. There's not a lot out, but they're showing enough. But what they're doing is, they're also going back and doing these fun things. The cinema down the street now, or for the holiday season, had the 12 Days of Christmas and brought out 12 films.
Yeah.
They are doing, with Avatar dropping or out now, which I could care less about. They re-release the other Avatar. That's fun. That's exciting. They did it with Black Panther. Okay, you want to see Wakanda Forever? We're doing a double feature.
Right.
You can. It's fun. It makes you excited to go. To go to the movies. They're also showing now, and they've done it a little, but they're doing it more. They're showing the plays, the big Broadway plays. I wanted to see. I think it was Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was starring Benedict Cumberbatch, the guy who plays Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I saw a commercial for the big play, and I was like, I would go to the movie theater and watch that. It looked really interesting. So, yeah, I think we're starting to see a balance there.
Yeah, and the movie theater experience is getting better too. I mean, right near
Agreed.
us, they just I don't know if you've been into the theater yet. I have not, but they now have seating. I forgot the name of it. That if in an action movie, especially, the seats actually move to give you that experience. Like
That's crazy.
if you wanted to go see Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick, while he's flying in the plane, supposedly the seating is synced to the movie, so
That's
you're actually moving like you are also flying in the cockpit of a plane.
I feel like I'd throw up, but
I kept thinking, don't eat too much popcorn and stuff
sounds
before the movie starts. But I mean, that's where they're trying to enhance that experience.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think they're doing that in the food industry now too. You're starting to see new restaurants opening up with new bill of fare and everything. And I mean, good gosh, whoever would have thought that you'd find a burger in Arby's? Because
who would ever go to Arby's? But yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I do love their curly fries though.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I want some now. But no, you're right. They're changing, and we're seeing new food experiences at I say lower cost. Nothing's lower,
right?
But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So let's step away from the big world. Let's look at the personal. What were some of your personal highlights this past year? Anything?
Actually, I think one of my highlights was dealing with the COVID issues. It seemed like things were, even though it's still on the front burner. It seems to be being a little bit more accepted. More people are fully vaccinated. We're not wearing masks wherever we go again. I think that was something that made me feel a lot better. And being a little bit older and being at a higher risk group and everything, I was glad that more people were paying attention to it and taking care of themselves. They're getting flu shots, pneumonia shots, dealing with what's going around us in the medical community too. And I hope that will continue as we go into the new year also. I think that would be probably one of the highlights of the year.
Yeah, that makes sense. I getting back to, I don't know what normal is, but yes,
right.
That was like when we went to Vegas. It dawned on me halfway through the flight. I'm like looking around, going, wait a minute, something's weird. Oh, I can see everybody's face. And I even said it to the stewardess. I go, or flight attendant or whatever you call them, who cares?
Yeah.
I said, hey, wait a minute, we don't have to wear our masks. She's like, no, we're landing now. You just figured that out. I'm like, look, you just chill out, lady. Like,
you notice when people are smiling, you can see it.
Yeah, and I brought my masks, because I still have a couple just for whatever. Well, some of them Luke just plays with now. They're just his, whatever. But I have a couple, and I'm like, look, we're going to bring these because there could be a place that's up to their discretion, and then I haven't used it. I have not personally, unless I'm playing with my son, worn a mask in a long time. Now, the other day, I was sick. I got sick for about 3 days. I thought I had something. I did a COVID test, flu test, nothing. But I was rough. And for me to say I was sick, I was sick. I was like sweating and cold and hot and shaking, and I hated life.
Right.
when I was going to work, I almost wore a mask at work just to like, because I got the green light to go to work, and I was like, I'm just going to wear a mask because I just need that extra for them, not for me. I'm already sick
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
And I did that for about 10 minutes and I was sweating so much. I was like, I forget it. They can send me home at this point. I'm done, man.
But so I get that would be my highlight. What was your highlight from the year?
I had a couple things, I mean, we all got to be grateful about stuff, and all that. It's hard sometimes. I mean, I admit I have to
Yes.
put myself in check, because I get very frustrated. Then I kick myself in the butt and go, come on, Brandon.
Yeah. You're
Um,
usually burning the candle at both ends anyway.
yeah, I am. I think one of the highlights for me, I mean, besides trips and all those little superficial things, was really two things that I'm beyond grateful for. Number one is getting a new house, getting the house, moving out of the apartment, getting the house. I say new house, but getting a house and being able to go there and the area I live in. Is it perfect? No. Do I have some fun work to do this summer? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been doing some stuff on the insides. I've been doing some stuff in the backyard. We're doing these little, it's cool. It's good for me and little man, and I'm grateful for that. Beyond grateful for that.
And he enjoys
Um,
doing it too.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Number two, honestly, getting a job that I like. Having that opportunity come up. It's been a long time since I've had a job that I was excited about, that I was passionate about, that I liked, that I wanted to focus on and really do good. Because I'll be real, since I left the service industry and all that, forcefully, really, because of COVID, and then realizing I'm done. I'm not saying I wasn't grateful for what I did for a living for those couple of years, but I didn't exactly like it. It was this pays the bills and this is what I'm here for. There was no passion, there was no love. There was sometimes some I don't know, disenchantment. So being able to have an opportunity and come back in and go, wow, there's growth.
And
And
when you're raising a child and you're in that industry and your work time doesn't necessarily gel with his, you're in a better place now that you don't have to have all these various part-time jobs to do it. You
nah.
can focus, and it's a little bit more, again, that new normal.
Yeah, I felt like when I left the service industry, I felt like I went from like survival mode,
Yeah.
like I'm going to do everything to make every dollar, which is fine. If I have to do that again, I will. Um, but it's much more mentally relaxing, physically relaxing to actually have a job. You're like, dude, I can bust my butt here, make good money, and grow in this company, and be happy. And it's, oh, by the way, down the street. So
Well, we wish that for all of our listeners
yes,
and all that you grow and be happy and make 2023 a great year. We'll see you on the flip side in the new year, and we'll talk about what direction we're going to be taking there. And in the meantime, have a great new year, and enjoy every minute with your family. And don't forget, we're part of your family too. So come back and see us again next Tuesday. Okay, 8 a.m. We'll be here. Hope you will too. Bye.
Happy New Year.